Om apavitra pavitro va sarva avastangatopi va yat smaret pundarika akshang sabaya abhyantara suchihi. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Om Ajnana Timarandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militang Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panggung Langhayate Gihim Yat Kripa Tamahang Bande Sri Gurung Dinataranang Yat Kripa Tamahang Bande Paramananda Madhavam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Friday, this past Friday, was for me personally a very special spiritual day. Personally, I call it the greatest day in American history. The day Srila Prabhupada arrived in America. September 17, 1965. I was 15 years old, living in a town in Long Island, New York. And it wouldn't be until another 8 years that I would come in contact with this personality. He was ordered by his spiritual master to preach in English. And after so many years, finally, he fulfilled the order of his spiritual master and first arrived in Boston for a day or two, and then properly entered New York City. And while the ship, because he came over by a boat, the Jaladuta, while the boat was docked at the Commonwealth Pier, Prabhupada wrote a poem. And for me, this poem is very, very significant. I see myself as a preacher, as a servant of Srila Prabhupada. And I find that this poem perfectly encapsulates what it means to be a preacher. What is the mood? What is the mentality? So every year, I have to do a class on this poem. So I'm going to do two things tonight. So first, I want to read this poem that Prabhupada composed. And then I will speak about the wonderful emotions of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. If you are so inclined, you can confirm by saying, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. I told Rupanuga Prabhu last night, the size of the crowd doesn't matter. And you proved it. Because at least I have people who are enthusiastic. And that's all I need. So I have been ordered by my GBC to always ring this bell. I'm just following instructions. So I'm ringing this bell to congratulate you for being enthusiastic. Was that? So here's Prabhupada's poem. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now, you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied. And therefore, they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. Can everybody say that name? Vasudeva. Very good. I even hear the child. Very good. I do not know how they will be able to understand this message. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you, Krishna, are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? O Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All the living entities have come under the control of your illusory energy, and so by your will only will they be delivered. Therefore, if you like, by your will, they can be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. And therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he or she will be able to understand your message. One will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion, and thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? For I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. And now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. O Krishna, O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. And I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. O Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, make me dance. O Lord, make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhakti Vedanta, and now if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhakti Vedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, U.S. of A., 18th September 1965. Today is 18 September 2022. So now I will start the real lecture. That was a preamble. I see my sponsor, my longtime disciple, Nri Hari, has come. I want to thank him because it was he who arranged this for me after years. I bless him, and I have something for you, Nri Hari. I have a special letter for you. Would you like to play drum? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashodanandana Gopi Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jasodanandana Gopi Jana Ranjana Jasodanandana Gopi Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jasodanandana Gopi Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you for playing drum. So here in this temple, which is very special and unique, because there's only a few such temples known as Panchatattva temples in the whole world. Here in LagunaBeach, Sri Panchatattva. If we start from the far left facing, we have Advaita, then Nityananda, and then Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, then Gadadhar, and then Srivas. So the central figure is Lord Chaitanya, and the other four are his expansions or representatives. So, I've been requested to speak about the deep emotions and spiritual significance of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please repeat. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So there is some nice verses in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And these explain who Lord Chaitanya is. Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda Sahoditao. Gododaye Pushpavantao Chitra Shantao Tumo Nudao. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda in order to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. So just by coming to this temple, just by seeing the deities, you are getting benediction. Because the deity is non-different from the personality. It's not that we are worshiping stone statues. I don't worship idols. Sometimes people object. Why do you worship idols? I don't worship idols. I worship God, who appears in a form that is viewable and seeable and touchable. So just by coming, you're getting benediction. Now comes a special blessing, a special prayer found in the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it's a blessing. Anyone who knows me, I'm all about blessing. I'm the official blesser. So take advantage while you can, because you may not see me in a long time. So after, take your blessings. Anarpita chiring chirat, karunaya vatirna kalau, samarpayitum anatojvala rasang, svabhakti sriyam, hari purata sundara dyuti, kadamba sangipitaha, sada hridaya kandare, spurutuva sachinandana. Everybody say sachinandana, sachinandana, sachinandana. May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendentally situated in the innermost core of your heart. So that's the first benediction. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, Lord Chaitanya has descended in this age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before. What is that? The most elevated mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So this verse, I could give an hour class just on this verse, but that's for another time. But you have been blessed. The composer of this verse wants Lord Chaitanya to sit in the innermost recesses of your heart. So embrace, say Gauranga. I like that child. Now, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, explains, this incarnation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, descends to propagate the chanting of the holy name and spread love of God. Although this is true, this is but the external reason for Lord Chaitanya's incarnation. There are other reasons, confidential reasons, for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. But this cannot be overemphasized. For our benefit, from our perspective, this external reason for Lord Chaitanya's appearance is most important to us. Look, he descended to bring and deliver everyone simply by chanting the holy name. That is Lord Chaitanya's essence. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyata. Lord Chaitanya, on his initiation day, was instructed by his guru that you simply chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's it. You just chant. And Lord Chaitanya did that, and very quickly, what did he get? Love of God. Because that is the real benefit, the ultimate benefit from chanting. Liberation, freedom from sinful reactions, those are insignificant byproducts of chanting. The real fruit of chanting is you develop your dormant love of God. I love this concept. Dormant love of God. This is one of Lord Chaitanya's teachings. Love of Godhead lies dormant in everyone, regardless whether you're black, white, young, old, Republican, Democrat, atheist, theist, whatever you are, don't matter. If you are a living soul, then love of God is there dormant. How many see themselves as eternal soul? Good, you're in the right church. Very good. So, since we are eternal soul, always existed, exist at present, and will always continue to exist, not in this form, but in so many forms, but still we are eternal. Love of Godhead is lying dormant, and it simply has to be awakened. And that's what Lord Chaitanya did. By his loud, yes, several times you will read, Ucha Kirtan. Lord Chaitanya liked loud kirtan. Loud. Why? So that not only you get benefit, but others get benefit. Even if you're in your room all by yourself, you can still chant loudly and benefit all the germs and living entities who are invisible to you, but they're there. And you will deliver them by your loud chanting. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama. And little by little, you will start to see your love of Godhead increases. As Rupanuga said, I saw Srila Prabhupada for the first time in 1973. If you had seen me in 1973, you would think, oh, who is that troll? I had hair down to here. I had a big beard. Nobody ever expected that I would wind up looking beautiful like this. It's all because of the chanting and the preaching of Srila Prabhupada's movement. And this chanting has so much power. Let us continue. Although this is true, this is the external reason. The Lord has personal or internal reasons. So now Krishnadas Kaviraj composed 2 verses to explain Lord Chaitanya's personal reasons. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritya Kladini Shaktir Asmad Ekatmanav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Vedam Gatautau Chaitanyakyam Prakatam Aduna Tadvayam Chaityam Aptam Radha Baba Jyoti Subalitang Naumi Krishna Swarupa. Sometimes people question, why do you recite Sanskrit shlokas? Well, there's 2 reasons. First of all, Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual master, ordered his disciples, learn these verses, recite them. And why? Because they're purifying. By chanting these shlokas, you become purified. You become elevated. You become reformed and rectified. Here is the translation. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna. So there on the wall, there is the picture of Radha, Krishna, and the Ashtasakis. So in the middle is Radha and Krishna. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of Krishna's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these 2 transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to Lord Gauranga, who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. So over here in the back wall on the far left, that is an incident that took place 500 years ago. Ramananda Roy was having many discussions with Lord Chaitanya privately. And Ramananda was speaking so nicely that Lord Chaitanya kept saying, "Can you go further? Can you go further?" And at one point, Ramananda said, "Nobody else has even asked this of me before, but it seems you are making me talk. So, you're pulling the strings, I'm the puppet, I will speak." And so, Ramananda Roy went higher and higher and higher, and at one point, Lord Chaitanya covered Ramananda Roy's mouth. No, this is too far. You've gone too high. And of course he wanted to know more. So that vision was at the end when Ramananda Roy was looking at Lord Chaitanya, and all of a sudden he was not seeing Lord Chaitanya, he was seeing Radha Krishna. And then that would fade and he would see Lord Chaitanya, and then he would see Radha and Krishna. So that is what this shloka is all about. Lord Chaitanya is the combined form of Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna is the ultimate, penultimate, absolute truth. Ultimate. His next verse goes even further. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanayaiva Svadyo Yenadvuta Madhurima Kidrisho Va Madiya Saukyam Chasya Mad Anubhavata Kidrishang Veti Lobhat Tad Bhavadya Samajani Sachi Garva Sindau Harindu. This one tells you now the real meaning, why Lord Chaitanya or Krishna appeared in this form of Lord Chaitanya. What was his intention? I'll give you an example. Everything is based on intention. So when I was first coming to the temple back in 1973, my main intention, good food. I realized that this Hare Krishna temple in Brooklyn had the best food that I had ever tasted. So I was going as much as I could just to eat the food. But now my intentions have matured. Now my intention for doing what I do is to preach, to share, to give to others this love of Krishna, little bit that I may have acquired. When you have something really valuable, the tendency is you want to share it with your friends. If you have something really, really special. So when you have Krishna consciousness, when you have it, the symptom is you want to give it. Why? Because you are convinced there's nothing better than this consciousness of love of God. Just to explain a little bit, in 1967, before I knew about Prabhupada, my favorite song, all you need is love, all you need is love, love, love is all you need. But unfortunately, I couldn't find it. I didn't find it with Dina. I didn't find it with Michelle. I didn't find it with Linda. I wanted it. I wanted real love, but I was missing. Then I came in contact with Prabhupada, and he had one pamphlet, Reservoir of Pleasure. What a title. Reservoir of Pleasure. And in that, Prabhupada points out, yes, everyone is looking for that love. But what they don't realize is they're looking in the wrong place. So Prabhupada made the bold statement, if you're looking for love, love is there in Krishna. He is the only one who can completely satisfy your loving propensity. So somehow or other, I believed it, I took it, and so I began this journey. So here is the inner emotions, purposes, intentions of why Krishna appeared just 500 years ago as Lord Chaitanya. 3 things. Number 1, Krishna wanted to understand the nature of Radha's love for him. Number 2, Krishna wanted to appreciate his own qualities that Radha alone relishes through her love. And 3, he wanted to understand what is the happiness Radha feels when Radha realizes the sweetness of Krishna's love. So it may sound strange, but not really. Say you have a husband, wife, lovers, a good friend. You have a nice relationship. So when you're with your friend or lover or partner, you are experiencing from your situation, and the other person is experiencing from their situation, but you don't know what the other person is experiencing. Like, here you are sitting in the class. I can surmise by the look on your faces Some of you like what I'm saying. Some of you are thinking, when are they going to serve the food? But I really don't know what you're thinking. I'm not a mystic yogi. And I don't even think a mystic yogi could. Because I'm not in your position. So believe it or not, although we say Krishna is God and he can do anything, here is one thing he can't do. From his position as God, he cannot understand what Radha is experiencing, but he wants to. So what does God do? What does Krishna do? If I want to understand Radha's experience of loving me, I have to become like her. So instead of being God, the supreme enjoyer, the supreme controller, I have to become the supreme servant. Because that's what Radha is, the essence. Her very name, everybody say Radha. I love that. Make sure this girl comes up for blessings at the end. I want to give her special blessing. Okay? So, the very name Radha means that by her service, she has satisfied Krishna's senses in a way nobody else can. She is the topmost. That's meaning of her name, Radha. Everybody? Beautiful. So, Krishna takes the form of Lord Chaitanya, as it was said. His blackish, dark bluish complexion becomes overtaken by the complexion of Radha, who is molten gold. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Rishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari. Her complexion is molten gold. So he's Krishna, but he's absorbed in the mentality, position, and mood of Radha. So his blackish complexion becomes overtaken by Radha's golden complexion. And now, because he's serving Krishna, now he realizes the greatness of Krishna. And now when he is serving Krishna, just like Radharani, he begins to realize what his love, how it is sweet, special. I'll give you another example. I like to make music. I record songs. And I write a song, I record it, and I think, oh, this is the greatest. But then I play it for, let's say, Nuri Hari or my wife, and they go, you think that's good? Yeah, try again. So I don't know how they are hearing it. I hear it, it's like, wow, man, this is better than the Beatles. And they tell me, especially my wife, she's my harshest critic. God bless her. She says, you're off. Go back to the drawing board. But this proves the point. I can only understand it from my position, not from others' position. The Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with Radha's emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi. So now we will go even deeper. Are you ready to proceed? All right. It's good that the door is only partially open, because now we're getting confidential. This is for the select group. I'm glad it's a small crowd tonight, because if it was too large, I may be shy. But with a small crowd, I feel confident. Are you ready to proceed? All right. There was a song in the 60s. Pick up your ears. Pick up your ears. That means pay attention. Krishnadas Kaviraj writes, please hear faithfully this description of Lord Chaitanya's ecstatic emotions. Thus you will come to know of Lord Chaitanya's ecstatic love, and ultimately you will achieve love of Godhead. This Krishnadas Kaviraj and his Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's my second favorite book. One reason is it's filled with benedictions. If ever I get down or depressed or disheartened, or in ISKCON we have a phrase, fried. I'm fried, Prabhu. If I just read a few pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Haribo, I feel rejuvenated. That's how powerful these books of Prabhupada are. When Lord Chaitanya would feel separation from Krishna, Lord Chaitanya's condition exactly corresponded to that of the gopis in Vrindavan after Krishna's departure for Mathura. The lamentation Radha felt when Uddhava visited Vrindavan gradually became a feature of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's transcendental madness. Lord Chaitanya's emotions exactly corresponded to that of Radharani when Radha met Uddhava. Lord Chaitanya always conceived of himself in her position, and sometimes even thought that he was Radharani herself. Such is the state of transcendental madness. Why is it difficult to understand? When one is highly elevated in love of Krishna, one becomes transcendentally mad and talks like a madman. So, the gist here is, in material relationships that we have, when we are in the association of our loved ones, we feel very happy. But if there's a death, or if there is separation, then we don't feel as happy. We have this phrase, I miss you, right? We all go through that. All couples go, for some reason they're separated, and if they're really in love, they miss each other. But that's on the material platform. On the transcendental platform, missing is actually a higher ecstasy than uniting. Now this doesn't make any sense because we are conditioned by our material experience. But we take it from the scriptures of our gurus and acharyas that the ecstasy of separation, technically called Vipralamba Seva, is an ecstasy higher than union. So that was Lord Chaitanya's mood, especially in the latter part of his life. Lord Chaitanya was on this earth for 48 years. 24 years was in Navadvip, where he acted as a householder, and 24 years he was in Jagannath Puri as a sannyasi. Now, of those 24 years, 6 years he traveled all throughout India preaching and delivering the holy name, the Hare Krishna mantra, all over. It's recorded in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then there was 6 years where he enjoyed relationships with innumerable devotees that would come every year for the Ratha Yatra. And so the final 12 years was spent in this transcendental madness. He would be only with a few close associates, and he would go through inner ecstasies of this transcendental feeling of intense separation. Let's hear. Lord Chaitanya's feelings of separation from Krishna resulted in highly elevated transcendental madness. So this is called here a Garuda Stamba. So that is there also in the Jagannath Puri temple. You've seen that, right? I was not privy, but Nrihari went. Well, we have one here, so it's just as good. When Lord Chaitanya would stand near the Garuda Stamba, praying to Lord Jagannath, a woman from Orissa put her foot on Lord Chaitanya's shoulder in great eagerness to see Lord Jagannath. Lord Chaitanya's personal servant, Govinda, chastised the woman for this, but Lord Chaitanya praised the woman's eagerness. You can imagine, how would you feel if you were standing there and somebody climbed on your shoulder? Would you go, oh, Haribo? I don't think so. But Lord Chaitanya, he was praising her. When Lord Chaitanya went to the temple of Lord Jagannath, Lord Chaitanya was absorbed in ecstatic love, and he would see only Krishna. So we have Jagannath here on the far right, the small blackish deity, that's Jagannath. And then Jagannath Puri, he's several feet, right? How many? 8 feet. So if you get to go to Jagannath Puri, 8 feet Jagannath. But when Lord Chaitanya would look at Jagannath, Jagannath would turn into Krishna holding his flute. I look at Jagannath, I see Jagannath, but I don't see Krishna playing the flute. But Lord Chaitanya's ecstatic love made that appear. As soon as Lord Chaitanya perceived this woman, Lord Chaitanya's external consciousness immediately returned, and so Lord Chaitanya saw Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. Once, Lord Chaitanya saw Krishna in a dream, and Lord Chaitanya became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. Would you like a blessing? I bless you. I pray that one day you also see Krishna in your dream. How's that? You can thank me later. Donations are accepted. I'm just kidding. My blessings are tax-free. And when Lord Chaitanya could no longer see Krishna, Lord Chaitanya compared himself to a yogi. Sometimes, all the transcendental ecstatic symptoms were manifest in Lord Chaitanya. One night, Govinda and Swarup Damodar noticed that although the 3 doors to Lord Chaitanya's room were locked and closed, still Lord Chaitanya was not present inside. Seeing this, Swarup Damodar and the others went outside, and they saw Lord Chaitanya lying unconscious by the gate known as Singadwar. Lord Chaitanya's body had become unusually long, and the joints of Lord Chaitanya's bones were loose. The devotees gradually brought Lord Chaitanya back to his senses by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Let's all chant. Everybody. The more you participate, the greater your return on investment. So I'll encourage you. The more you participate, you get more. And then the devotees took Lord Chaitanya back to his residence. Once, Lord Chaitanya mistook a sand dune known as Chatakaparvata and thought it was Govardhan Hill. As Lord Chaitanya ran toward it, Lord Chaitanya became stunned, and then all the 8 ecstatic transformations appeared in Lord Chaitanya's body due to great love for Krishna. So, Prabhupada has pointed out many times, that there is a science to love of God. It's not mythology, it's not hocus pocus, it's not sentimentality, there's a science. So you can tell how advanced you are by noticing the symptoms. So Lord Chaitanya was experiencing 8 kinds of transformation, such as his hairs standing on end, his voice choked up, or his eyes becoming well filled with tears of joy. And if he would sometimes try to say Jagannath, it would come out Jajagaga. And there would be goose pimples, different kinds of ecstatic symptoms. So the devotees would chant Hare Krishna just to bring him out of that deep internal ecstasy back to external consciousness. Once, after seeing the Upala Bhoga ceremony of Lord Jagannath, Lord Chaitanya once more began to feel ecstatic emotions. When Lord Chaitanya saw the garden on the beach by the sea, Lord Chaitanya again thought that he was in Vrindavan. And when Lord Chaitanya began to think of Krishna engaging in his different pastimes, transcendental emotions excited Lord Chaitanya again. So this is very nice, this temple, where it is situated. Because just like Jagannath Puri, we're right by the sea. We're very close by. So you can appreciate this Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri just by coming to this wonderful temple. Previously, on the night of the Rasa dance, the gopis, bereaved by Krishna's absence, searched for Krishna from one forest or another. So once, Lord Chaitanya has adopted the same transcendental thoughts as those of the gopis. And so Lord Chaitanya was filled with ecstatic emotion. So Rup Damodar then recited a verse from the book Gita Govinda, just suitable to Lord Chaitanya's emotions. Lord Chaitanya then exhibited the ecstatic transformations known as Bhava Udaya, awakening of all ecstatic symptoms. Bhava Sandhi, meeting of ecstatic symptoms. Bhava Shabalya, mixing of ecstatic symptoms. Lord Chaitanya experienced all 8 kinds of ecstatic transformations, and Lord Chaitanya relished them very much. This one is one of my favorites. So one time, Lord Chaitanya was with his devotees, his associates, and they got some Mahaprasadam from the Jagannath temple. And so Lord Chaitanya immediately honored, and he also shared it with his associates. And after they had eaten, he tested them. All right, you have all tasted these ingredients yourself. Sugar and milk and camphor and black pepper, the special preparation. So then Lord Chaitanya said, you have all tasted these things before. But why is it that this tastes extraordinarily special? Why is it? So the devotees were given their reason, and Lord Chaitanya said no. This Mahaprasadam tastes so good because Krishna actually ate it and returned it, and it has become mixed with Krishna's saliva. Because Krishna is a person and he has saliva, transcendental saliva. Because God is a person. He's not some void. He's not some phony Wizard of Oz hiding behind some curtain. No. Krishna is the real God. Sometimes I come across people. Who is this Krishna? Why do you worship this Krishna? And I tell them, my Krishna is the God of your God. And that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. I don't care. I speak the truth. Now, I could go on for another hour, but time has come to end. Thank you for listening. As I said, later, before Prasadam, you can come up for blessings. Right now, I will finish up by chanting the wonderful Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Nri Hari, are you satisfied? I tried my best. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhya eva cha, patitanang pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Devotees of Krishna, devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they are very, very merciful. And they can give you whatever you desire. So always take the association of devotees. Stay in the association of devotees and always chant the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram. Thank you, Nrihari. Thank you, Laguna Beach Temple Management. Thank you for being such a good audience, especially the ones who came on time. Thank you very much.